This is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice, give thanks. Today is Sunday, already the 4th day of October, in the year of Lord 2015. I am very much pleased to be alive and in reasonably good health as far as I feel. I am unaware of the prevalence or otherwise of any known medical condition. Sometimes we appear to be alive and healthy. Sometimes we feel that we are healthy. However, there may well be some underlying, and should I say innate, condition that we are not aware of, or which is yet to be diagnosed, or which is yet to be known, even if we may well have been subjected to different forms of medical examination, because we never really know. But nonetheless, it's very important that we continue to give endless thanks to our Creator and do our best to do our duty to our God and our country and wider humanity. I always like to make sober reflections on different aspects of human behavior. At times I philosophize. At times I try to go into the deeper recesses of my mind to get a greater sense of value as to why people tend to behave in certain ways under certain circumstances from time to time. Because human behavior is far from being static. It is always subject to a process of continuous renewal. That is why very key aspects of it can be deemed to be unpredictable. We are always influenced by our environment. The very concept of environment carries with it a wide body of variables. Many times when we speak of the environment, almost naturally we limit our definitional framework to the physical environment. But there is the psychological environment. There is a knowledge and idealistic environment. And I do believe both the physical environment and the idealistic, knowledge-based, experience-based environment converge from time to time to influence our behavior. This particular issue drives me into a new era, and that includes this grand debate about free will versus determinism. Let me warn that I am not an adherer to the philosophy of free will. I am a very fierce and unapologetic and fundamentalistic student of determinism. And my rationale for driving me within that particular intellectual realm is based on one major and highly instructive conclusion. And this is based intrinsically to my faith. I believe that the Almighty Father, the creator of the universe, is all powerful and all knowing. The knowledge which our Creator has is uncontaminated, indisputable, absolute, supreme, and factual. When one can come to such a conclusion, it is difficult to reconcile that conclusion with the philosophical framework of free will. Because free will in itself speaks holistically to the question of individual autonomy. It gives a fictional and ill-conceived impression that we operate as independent sovereign entities and we do not affect or is influenced by our environment. And as a result, the conclusion is that whatever we say or do or fail to do, whatever thoughts that we harbor or fail to harbor, whatever decisions that we arrive at, whatever perspective that we have on different aspects of human development, human behavior, our opinions, our thought processes, our ideas, all of those particular elements and more, it is believed from that school of free will that all of those issues which I have just articulated emerge from the consciousness of the individual, independent of his environment. So his thoughts are freely created within the realm of free will. I do not subject to that particular philosophy. I believe, on the contrary, that whatever thought that we think, whatever decision that we make, whatever idea that we harbor, whatever we choose to do or not to do, every conceivable aspect of our behavior is influenced by our environment. And as a result, we lack this autonomy. We lack that degree of independence in arriving at whatever conclusion that we may choose to arrive at. And that is very critical. I have to take into consideration, even from a theological perspective, the fact that we do not have complete control over every aspect of our behavior. I am not speaking about issues from an automated standpoint. I'm not talking about our ability to move. I'm not speaking about those particular physiological issues. No, I'm not. I'm looking at it with the context of the idealistic standpoint. Earlier on, I made it clear that our Almighty Father is possessed of all knowledge, all powerful, and all knowing. Hence, it is only the Almighty who can say for certain what course of action or inaction that any individual is likely to be involved in the future, because he is all-knowing. So let us say, for example, today is Sunday, the 4th of October 2015. If I am to commit a crime in the next half an hour, or a sin in the next half an hour, or breach some particular acceptable mode of human behavior in the next half an hour, or tomorrow, or next week, or next year, as far as I'm concerned, I do not have any such intention. However, the all-knowing Father, the Almighty, is fully cognizant of every aspect of behavior of every human being. For it is also written that He knew us even before we were implanted in our parental womb. So it means, therefore, the question of free will is defected, because the predictability of our conduct is critical. The knowledge, the foreknowledge of the behavior of every one of us is fundamental in undermining the falsehood of individual autonomy, which is embedded in the concept of free will. Because if I am to sin anytime into the near intermediate, or distant future. The nature of that sin, the nature of that wrong conduct is already known by our Creator even before I would have commissioned such wronged behavior. Hence, therefore, it means that I have absolutely no free will as far as that particular wronged behavior is concerned. And therefore, the question of determinism is already preordained by the Almighty, because one must not divorce the predictability of one's conduct of the whole concept of determinism. Very, very important to recognize the linkage in the foreknowledge of the conduct with the concept of determinism. And when one understands the value and the sheer potency of those particular arguments, then quite clearly it would undermine and supplant and destroy the erroneous vitality in the concept of free will.